Hello, my dear students. Myself Sheikh Gulnaz. Now I am here with the topic of atmosphere. Continuation of this chapter we are going to learn here. This is the class for 8th standard subject social science. Students, in the last video we have learned the meaning, importance of atmosphere and also about the layers of atmosphere. Now let us do the continuation of this chapter by on the basis of insolation. The globe is divided into the 3 temperature zones. Now let us see about the temperature zones of atmosphere. Okay. So here we have three types or three it has been divided, the temperature zone isolations. The globe is divided into 3 temperature zones, that is torrid zone, temperate zone, frigid zone. These are the zones which are divided by the earth. So students, now let us see briefly about these 3 zones. How many zones are there, students, here? 3 zones, that is torrid zone, temperate zone and frigid zone. As you can see, it is there to you visible on the screen: frigid zone, temperate zone, torrid zone and again temperate zone and frigid zone, which at middle there is a torrid zone. Okay. So first we have, that is torrid zone. There is the zone of high temperature. This division lies between Tropic of Cancer 23.5 degree northern in the north and Tropic of Capricorn 23.5 degrees southern in the south. So this zone receives direct rays of the sun. So torrid zone is a zone, students, which have high temperature as it directly faces towards the you can see here this division, it is at the middle and it is directly faced towards the sun. So in the northern and the Tropic of Capricorn, that is 23.5 degree southern in the south. So this division receives direct rays from the sun because it is in middle. So because of that, this temperate zone is have high temperature. Okay. Next we will move towards the another zone, that is temperate zone. So temperate zone is temperature is neither very hot nor cool in this division because this division lies between 23.5 degree in north to 66.5 degree north Tropic of Capricorn to Arctic Circle and 23 and south to 66.5 degrees south Capricorn Tropic of Capricorn of Antarctic Circle. So students, these are temperate zone. You can see here temperate zone, they have neither hot nor cool, medium is there. So because this lies on the these regions lies between 23.5 in the north to 66.5 north Tropic of Capricorn to Arctic Circle and also the 23 degree south to 66 degree south Tropic of Capricorn to the Antarctic Circle. As you can see here the south and here the north. So this is all about the temperate zone, students. Now let us see the next zone, that is frigid zone. There are the coolest regions. Okay, these are found between 66.5 degree north Arctic Circle to 90 degree north North Pole and 66.5 degrees south to Antarctic Circle to 90 degrees south South Pole. This is the coolest region. Which zone, students, here? Which zone is a coolest zone here, students? That is frigid zone. Okay, this zone is the coolest region because the sunlight will be not going directly. So because of that, what happened? This region is cooled. So this region found between 66.5 degree north Arctic Circle to here 66.5 south Antarctic Circle to 90 degree south. So because of this, these regions does not have the temperature. So due to the slanting rays of the sun, the temperature is very low here. In summer, temperature is slightly high. Only in the season of summer, they have a slightly temperature is high, and in winter the temperature is very low. Okay, this is in frigid zone. Now let us see the isotherm. What is isotherm here? The imaginary lines connecting places having the same temperature is called isotherms. What is isotherms, students, here? The imaginary lines connecting places having the same temperature are called isotherms. As you can see here, the lines are there: red, blue, This shows that the temperature, imaginary lines which have the same temperature that places, that line is called isotherm. So they are drawn on the globe or map to show the distribution of temperature of the region. As they have drawn here, you can see students, red lines is also there and blue lines are also there, which shows that the temperature and also the cold and hot temperature, and also in winter how it is. And the same, if the lines is passing through like that, so it shows the same temperatures are there in these regions. Okay, this is nothing but isotherm. So do you know, these students, places of highest and lowest temperature? Let us see about which are the places which have high temperature and which are the places which have low temperature. Okay, Al Azizia of Libya in Africa has recorded the highest temperature, average plus 58 degrees Celsius, whereas Verkhoyansk of Siberia inhabited has recorded the lowest temperature minus 28 degrees Celsius. Got it, students? These are the places which have the highest temperature, that is Al Azizia of Libya, which is temperature was about average plus 58 degrees Celsius. Average here temperature is, at average level it is 58 degree plus temperature is there in this area. And if we compare here the lowest, that is the Verkhoyansk of Siberia inhabited has recorded the lowest temperature minus 28 degrees Celsius. So in India, Ganganagar of Rajasthan records the highest temperature, average plus 54 degrees Celsius in summer, and Leh of Jammu Kashmir records the lowest temperature, average minus 10 degrees Celsius in winter. So Leh is a capital city of Ladakh, students. Ladakh, which is situated in Jammu and Kashmir. That is we can say desert place is there in Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir, that is Ladakh. So that is capital is Leh, the city of that place is capital is Leh. So in that region, students, they records the lowest temperature average, that is minus 10 degrees Celsius. Okay, in winter. So Vostok of Antarctica is considered as the coolest place, average temperature minus 89 degrees Celsius on the earth. You can see, students, this is the places which are having the highest and also lowest temperature. So next we have, that is atmospheric pressure. Dear children, one among the following billions is filled with balloons are fixed with air and another one is with no air. Can you tell which one is weight? Can you tell me, students? These are the two balloons which have filled. One balloon is filled and another is without air. So can you tell me which has a weight? Yes, you are right. The balloon with air has weight. Doesn't it mean that air has weight? Doesn't it mean that air has weight? Yes, it does. In the same way, the air mass which have weight creates pressure on earth. This is called atmospheric pressure. Students, air also have the weight, so which creates pressure on the earth. So this is called the atmospheric pressure. So next we have that air pressure is measured by an instrument called barometer. The pressure is measured in millibars, that is MB. The average air pressures of the atmosphere at the sea level is 1013.25. The students, as I said you, the atmospheric air pressure is there is present on the earth because it has weight also. So here you can see the air pressure measured by an instrument called barometer. The pressure is measured in millibars, that is MB. The pressure the average air pressure of the atmosphere at the sea level is 1013.25. Okay, this is all about the atmospheric pressure. Now let us see the instrument. The atmospheric pressure is influenced by the following factors. How we can identify? That is by temperature, rotation of the earth, altitude from the sea level, height above. Okay, so water vapor, etc. These are the factors. We can say influence. We can check the following, by these following factors we can check the atmospheric pressure. As you can see, the image is there visible to students here. Height above the sea level, altitude, by this we can identify the atmospheric pressure. Tell me students, the atmospheric pressure is influenced by the following factors. Which are the factors? They are temperature, rotation of the earth, altitude from sea level, water vapor, etc. Okay. Next, how is pressure related with temperature? Think. In the adjacent pictures, water is boiling in the first picture, whereas water is vaporing in the second. You can see students on the screen. Here, the adjacent water vapor is boiling, isn't it? In the first image, you can see the water is boiling here. The bubbles are there, visible to you students in the first picture. And in the second, you can see the vapors are going up, isn't it? In the second. So this shows that vaporing is in the second. Can you answer these questions now? By seeing this image, will you answer me, students? How is pressure related with temperature? What is boiling of water? Why does water boil? Why do the vapor moves upwards? Will you answer me? Here students, when the vessel with water is heated, the water molecules in the bottom of the vessel get heated and lose their weight and thus gain light weight. When we heat the water, what happens students? The water vapors the water's weight will be, the molecules weight of water will be they lose the weight and they gain light weight. Now the lightweight water molecules move upwards. The cold water molecules which have weight in the top of the vessel move downwards. As the process goes on continuously, the water molecules keep moving upwards and downwards. This is called the boiling of water. As you can see students in the image, when the water molecules will be heating, they goes up because of light weight. Then what happened? The molecules which are upside, when they become cool, again they come down. This is nothing but boiling of water. So why does the water vapor move upwards? When the water turns into vapor, the water molecules in that vapor get scattered and becomes less dense than the dense of air outside, so they move upwards. What happened here students? When the water turns into vapor, the water molecules in that vapor get scattered and become less dense. So then the dense of the air outside, so what happened? They started moving upwards. Vapors. Have you seen students? While we making a boiling, when we boil the water, while making rice, what happened? The water vapors will be going upwards. So what you learned from this experiment? Can you tell me the relation between temperature and pressure now? By these images, can you tell me students, what is the relation between the temperature and the pressure? When an object is heated, the molecules of that object scatter or expand and have less dense and lose their weight. The lightweight molecules move upwards, then in that place low pressure is created. In the same way, when air in the atmosphere gets heated by the temperature or sunlight, low pressure areas are created. Therefore, at end and near equator the pressure will be low, and in the polar regions the pressure will be high. This is the reason students how it has been. See here, when an object is heated, the molecules of that object scatter or expand and have less dense, lose their weight. Because of that they lose their weight while we heating. While we heat the water's molecules, the lightweight molecules move upwards as vapors, isn't? Then in that place low pressure is created. In the same way, when air is in the atmosphere gets heated by the temperature or sunlight, low pressure areas are created. So therefore, at and near equator, the pressure will be low, and in the polar region, the pressures will be very high. So the atmospheric pressure decreases when the increase in altitude for the Earth's surface. The amount of increase is about 34 MB per every 300 meters altitude. The amount of increase is about 3 millbar, that is 34 millbar per every 300 meters altitude. When it increased 300 of height rises, what happened? It increased 34 MBs. atmospheric pressure. Okay. Major pressure belts of the earth. There are 7 pressure belts in the world. They are the equatorial low pressure belt, north subtropical high pressure belt, south subtropical high pressure belt, north subpolar low pressure belt, south subpolar low pressure belt, north polar high pressure belt, south polar high pressure belt. These are the 7 belts of the pressure belts of the earth. As you can see, it is there on the screen here, students. Blue lines is going upside and downside, and here these are the how many 7 pressures are there. Okay. So let us know about the equatorial low pressure region. It is a zone of high temperature and low pressure. It extends between 0 degree to 5 degree north and south of the equator. Okay, the equatorial low pressure zone is region, students. It is a zone of high temperature and low pressure. It extends between 0 degree to 5 degree north and south of the equator. Here think and answer, students. What is the reason for the creation of low pressure near equator? Near the equator, what is the reason they are creating low pressure? Recollect the experiment of water boiling and vaporing done in the previous slides and apply that knowledge here. Apply the knowledge here, students. What is the reason for the creations of low pressure near equator? Because, students, because of heat, what happened? I said the water molecules lose their weight. At the main equator, they are getting the sunlight directly. Because of that, what happened? There will be a light weight, isn't it? So, major pressure belts. That next is the equatorial low pressure region. This region is always very warm and hot as it gets direct rays of the sun almost through the year. Hence, there is a little wind also. Because of this, it is called calm region. So it is known as doldrum, means belt of calm. This region is also called intertropical convergence zone, ITCZ, because the trade winds converge here. So, students, this region is also very warm. Which region? The equatorial low pressure region. In this region, students, as they collect the direct rays of the sun almost through the year, hence there is a little wind also. Because of this, it is a little wind, calm region. So it is known as doldrum. Doldrum is nothing but, students, means belt of calm. Okay. So this region is also called the intertropical convergence zone. Converting, it is nothing but, okay, zone, ITCZ, because the trade winds converge here, because here the winds will be converging, as it is also known as the calm region, as doldrum, isn't it? Next we have, that is major pressure regions of the earth. Subtropical high pressure belts. These belts are found between 30 degree to 35 degree north and south of the equator. There are 2 subtropical high pressure belts. They are north subtropical and high pressure belt. Next, the south subtropical high pressure belt. North subtropical and south subtropical. Now let us see about the north and south. This belt is found between 30 to 35 degree north latitudes. This region is also called horse latitude. Okay, next we have this subtropical, south subtropical high pressure belt. That is, this belt is found between 30 to 35 degree south latitudes. As you can see, students, this subtropical high pressure is divided into again 2. That is north and south subtropical. So the north will cover with 30 to 35 degree, which is in north, and the south will cover 30 to 35 degree, which is in south latitudes. Okay, and here the north is also known as the horse latitude. So next we have the subpolar low pressure regions. These regions are found between 60 degree to 65 degree north and south of the equator. These are two subpolar low pressure belts. They are north subpolar polar pressure belt, south subpolar pressure belt. As I said, you students, that is 60 degree north to 65 degree north latitudes, and again south subpolar low pressure. There are 60 degrees south to 65 degrees south latitudes. They are stormy, especially in especially in winter. Stormy means nothing but students air, cool air. So next we have that is polar high pressure regions. So these regions are found between 80 degree to 90 degree north and south latitudes in both hemispheres. So there are extremely cool regions with very high pressure throughout the year. So here students, polar high pressure region, these regions are found between 80 degree to 90 degree north. Okay, and here south and latitudes and both hemisphere. Okay, it lies. So there are extremely cool regions with very high temperature throughout the year. In which region students? Polar high pressure region. Here we can see the very high pressure throughout the year. Cool. Next we have that is isobars. Isobars, imaginary lines drawn on the map or globe connecting places having the same pressure are called isobars. Isotherms, as I said, you students, the same pressures of the earth of temperature that are called isotherms. Next we have isobars. Isobars is there nothing but imaginary lines drawn on the map or globe connecting the places having the same pressure air. So pressures are called isobars. You can see here students, pressure, air pressure images are their lines, imaginary lines. These are nothing but the isobars. So they are drawn on the map to show the equal distribution of pressure. So these are drawn on the map to show the equal distribution of pressure of air. Which lines? Isobars, and isotherms are the lines, imaginary lines, which shows the temperature. Okay. Major regions of the earth that isobar, the imaginary lines connecting the places having the same pressure, are called isobars. They are drawn on the map to show the places having the equal distribution. As you can see here, this is a map of India, students. MB is there, millibars, that shows the. Are you able to see students here? MB is also there. 1000 MB, 180, 980, 990, 1000 MB. These are the pressures which we can measure, atmospheric pressure. Okay. So next we have air and winds. The mass of gases spread in atmosphere is called air. What is air, students, here? The mass of gases spread in the atmosphere is called air. So the horizontal movement of the air on the surface of the earth from high pressure to low pressure is called wind. The horizontal of air which on the surface of the earth from high pressure to low pressure is called wind. Okay, students. So here you can see the image is there on the screen, visible to you, the image of air and winds. Airs are like this. Okay, gases. And here winds, you can see the horizontal lines like this. Okay. So this is all about the air and wind. So the horizontal movement of the air on the surface of the earth from high to the low pressure is called wind. As you can see again here, image is clearly visible to you how the winds will be passing through. Here like this in the wave-like structure in a horizontal form. Okay, this is nothing but wind. Winds blow on the earth due to the rotation of the earth. The difference is the distribution of pressure. Here students, How does the winds blow here? Winds blow on the earth due to the rotation of the earth and differences in distribution of pressure. The winds will be the different from each. We can't face students the same pressure everywhere, isn't it? Can we see the same air everywhere? No. Pressures will be sometimes high and somewhere low. What is the reason behind that? Because of the rotation of the earth. Because of the rotation of the earth, the changes is there. Okay. So next we have winds blow on the earth due to the rotation of the earth and differences is the pressures. So here students, winds blow on the earth due to the rotation of the earth and differences in the distribution of the pressure. You can see here high pressure and low pressure. Images there of winds. Okay. The instrument wind vane or weather clock is used to show the direction of the wind. As you can see students, here is the clock, like here you can see the wind vane is there. This shows the pressure of the wind. Okay. So in the same way, anemometer is used to measure the speed of the wind. Here it is a instrument which is used to see the pressure of the wind, that is anemometer. Okay, here the three cup spin is wind, point, deflect wind, vane, align with wind, dial for measuring wind direction. This is all about the wind measuring instrument. Okay. Further types of winds is divided students. Now let us see, winds are classified into four major types. They are planetary winds, seasonal winds, local winds, cyclones and anticyclones winds. These are the winds. Okay, types of winds students. Which are the types of winds here? Planetary winds, seasonal winds, local winds, cyclone winds and anticyclone winds. These are the types of winds. So in the next class we will discuss about these winds students. Now I hope you understood this topic. So if you have students questions or doubt relating to this topic, you can ask me. And thank you for watching my video students. Please be read good and well. Thank you.